Gather round, everyone. Let me tell you a story from one of the old books in this library. It's a story about an old friend of mine. Long ago, when civilizations we know today were still in their infancy, there was a kind old man that lived in a quaint little hamlet by the forest. He would sit in his chair, drinking his tea with a book in his hand, while the children played in the sun. At night, he would go and walk around to every house in the hamlet, greeting the owners with a smile and leaving them a tiny copper coin each. Then, when morning came, he would go around and gather up those coins, retreat to his home, then return to his chair. The children would often hear him muttering as he read, the ramblings of an old soul that lost a few screws, they thought. People from all over would pass through this town, bringing their textiles and treasures to trade, but the old man had nothing he wanted, merely content with his book and his copper. One day, a circus came for a visit, bringing fantastical beasts and wondrous feats of human skill to the amusement of the people. The old man walked into the tent, taking a seat near the front. The ringmaster danced around, spotlight focused on him as his crew brought out a seemingly empty cage. They handed out mirrors and instructed the crowd to view the cage's reflection. Inside was a beast with maws of thousands of teeth, claws the size of swords, and eyes that have seen hell and survived. The old man sighed, pulling out his book as the cage started to rattle. It dented, the bars bending with each impact. Though there was no sound, the beast's reflection showed it growling, angry, hungry, and it eyed every person in the crowd. One, two, three! The cage burst open. The beast let loose. Yet there was no screaming, at least none from the crowd. The ringmaster raised his arms, opening his mouth, but no sound came as he vanished from sight. Only a drop of his blood was left to remember him by. The beast continued, skulking around, prowling, eating the visitors of the circus, one by one, as the people that survived sat oddly bored, impatient even, as if they couldn't see it. All except the old man. He flipped through his book, silently, slowly, methodically, until he happened upon a page that he enjoyed. As he muttered in a language that many have forgotten, the citizens of this hamlet slowly but surely started to vanish like the ringmaster did. What was once 100, maybe 150 people, reduced to 40. With a sigh, the old man closed the book, a flash of light coming from his eyes. Then nothing happened. The crowd, growing impatient, decided to leave the circus and return home, though none ever saw the corpse of that beast. None except that old man. Later that night, as the old man made his rounds, he happened upon a house, a father and his daughter. He left coins for them after looking at his book, and as he started to leave, the father called out to him, "Henry, there's only two of us here. Why'd you give us 3 coins?" The father asked, returning one of the coins. The old man simply gave a melancholic smile and apologized. As he got home, he opened up the book once more, turning to one of the final pages with a pen in his hand, crossing out old notes, a name of the mother of that child who had forgotten her, despite her passing merely a few feet beside the child. This book, it was a gift given to me by an old friend, peacefully on his deathbed, or more of a death chair, with some tea by his side, and a child, alone, playing in the sun, in the quiet streets of a tiny hamlet by the forest. Nobody ever ventured into that forest, but if they did, they would see tens, perhaps 100 graves, all with names vaguely familiar, but not familiar enough. Good night, everybody.